Okay, girls, so we're going to start our lesson on introduction for nonlinear relationships. I hope that you have completed already this worksheet. If you haven't done it, the one that is called Introduction Nonlinear Relationships to Nonlinear Relationships that has this title. If you haven't done this, go and do this before watching this video because we're going to give the answers to this worksheet, and it's good that you have gone through this process of analysis and then you watch the video. So let's get started. So I'm going to give you first the answers. I'm going to go very quickly. If you need to slow down, you can slow down the velocity of the video, or you can pause, but I'm going to go very quickly to get to the point that I need to go. So question 1 had this table. If you graph it, you should have gone something like this. Then the question was, is it a linear relationship? Yes, it is. This one is a linear relationship. We can see that it's drawing a line. You might or might not remember from last semester when you were learning how to find the rule for these linear graphs. If you have identified very good, is y equals 2x plus 1. So the y-intercept is 1 and the gradient is 2 over 1. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that because we don't need to focus on that. This is just a recap of what you have done last semester. Question 2, this was the table that you had to graph, to plot. This one it is. And if you have plotted, you should have come up with something like this. This is a nonlinear relationship, and you may or may not know that the shape of this nonlinear relationship is called a parabola. And the function that it has is y equals x squared. Okay? Question 3. This is the table. Wonderful. So hopefully when you have plotted, you got a graph like this one. It is a linear relationship. It is a line. And the formula is y equals negative 2x take away 3. We can see that the y-intercept here is in negative 3. And the gradient is negative 2 over 1. Fantastic. Now question 4, we have our table. And if you plot it, you should have come up with something like this. Again, here we have a nonlinear relationship. And this one is called a parabola as well. And the formula, or the formula is y equals negative x squared. Question 5 was this one, the table. And if you have plotted, you got a line, this blue line here. Don't get distracted by these dark points here. Is this one, this blue one here. Why? Because we can see that the y is always, the value is always 2. Regardless of what value x has, y is always equals to 2. So of course, this is a linear relationship. It is a line, and the formula is y equals 2. It's when we have those horizontal lines. And remember that when we have a horizontal line, there is no gradient. The gradient is equal to 0. Okay. Question 6. So question 6 was the other special case where x is always equals to 2 in this case, and regardless of the value of y. So this is also a linear relationship, is also a line, and the formula is x equals 2. Wonderful. In this one, just remember that the gradient of this one is undefined because it's going infinity upwards. Okay, so we call this, the gradient of this one, undefined. Question 7, it says, use your cast to graph this function. I hope that when you graph, you had something like this. So you haven't done this, and you are not going to do this in year 9. So we just wanted to talk about different types of non-relationship, not linear relationships. So this one is a non-linear relationship, and it's hyperbola. Just notice that this function is not defined when x equals 0, so in the origin. It doesn't go through 0, like it goes very close, but it doesn't touch us, and here the same. Just something interesting to notice about this graph. And then question 8 said the following graph corresponds to this function, to this formula, x squared plus y squared equals 16, to this formula. And we have here a non-linear relationship, and you may have called this one is a circle. And that's all we needed to know about this one. Maybe the only thing that we can also, if you wanted to be curious, we can say that the radius was 4, if you wanted to say that, or the diameter is 8. But none of that was required for your task. Wonderful. So we have covered here like several types of linear relationships. Agree? So we have these ones were the ones that you had in your task that you did, but we also cover some nonlinear relationships. So in this unit, girls, we're going to be focusing on nonlinear relationships, but we are not going to talk about hyperbolas or circles, and these are only some kinds. There are many other types of nonlinear relationships. There are ellipses, and there are cubic functions, and there are all a lot of trigonometric functions, a lot of nonlinear relationships, but in this unit, we're only going to focus on the parabolas. This is what we're going to be studying today, okay? So in the next video, I'm going to talk about some special features of the parabolas. Thank you, girls.